My name is Cillian Kelly, Head of Digital Project Delivery with CISC. And in this video, we're going to talk about smart buildings here in City West and how we use digital twin technology. A digital twin is a virtual representation of a physical building. The physical building is what we're sitting in here today, City West. The virtual representation was the journey and how we got there. We use geospatial services, and we also have a BIM model that we use for coordination throughout the build. And then we have smart technology, as in head count sensors, desk sensors, and we've also integrated a BIM management system. And by interlinking all of this technology together, we've created a digital twin.
So a key part of making a smart building work is obviously the coordination between all the different parties and the way the data flows between all the different systems. So just our team worked very closely with Sensory at the start through our IT project manager, Claire Hendrick. She engaged with the Sensory teams and with our vendor partners to make sure that we had all the requirements captured, all done securely across our firewalls, across our networks, all working the way it should be in a secure and safe manner.
So our BMS monitors over 1,000 points, and that covers everything from mechanical plant, operation status, air quality, room temperatures, and energy consumption. So we take this data and we display it in real time through a web interface that enables the site team to manage proactively energy consumption, building comfort, and so forth.
During the design and construction of this project, we had a lot of the tools readily available. The part that was missing was our digital twin provider. So we partnered up with Spacewell. And what Spacewell was able to provide is a platform that are software agnostic, which means that they can link in multiple different software applications into a central location. And what they also provided was digital twin technology, such as head count sensors and desk sensors. And they also have a very smart mobile application. The mobile application allows staff to book desks before they come to the office, which creates this hybrid work environment.
So City West is quite interesting. Although it's a retrofit of an existing building, we've been able to upgrade and enhance that to a smart building and have air quality monitoring in all spaces throughout. We can take this exact application and we can replicate it across a single building or for a wider project with multiple buildings.
So I think one of the key learnings from us around the City West project was early coordination, early communication. We knew what the expectation was from the vendor, we knew what the expectation was from Sensory, and we brought that all together to ensure that the existing solutions and infrastructure we had could meet their requirements.
Thanks for watching this short video on smart building technology and how we've introduced it in City West. If you're working on a project or your future project that you might have a client that might have asked the question, what is a digital twin? Please reach out and we'll be more than happy to help. We can now demonstrate this in person or on site or on a Teams call, and all of the DPD team will be more than happy to give you a run through of what we've done here in City West and how we can implement this on your future projects.
Morning everybody, my name is Cillian Kelly, so thanks for watching a short video. And look, we have lots of examples in CISC of different use cases with AI, but today we wanted to focus on our recent move to City West. I'd like to compliment all the speakers, a lot of very knowledgeable insights into AI and how it's being used across the industry. So in City West in particular, what we wanted to do was to have a building. We were moving from our previous head office in Wilton Works to a new location in City West. It was an existing building, Cat A fit out so we had essentially a shell and core of a building where we had an opportunity to go in and introduce all of the DPD services that we provide on our projects. So why are we doing this? Employers are demanding better workplace environments. So climate, energy, so our sustainability team, we're doing LCAs, so capturing embodied carbon. And what we wanted to have was a building asset that we could optimise. Essentially, how could we optimise this building and get the best performance and lower our operational carbon? And then increase the operating costs for driving or efficiencies in the building and to act differently throughout the build. So some of the points was our objectives, what we set out to do. So the definition of a smart building, there's lots of industry definitions out there. From what we have implemented within City West, so a centralised data integration, and we have a central location, as we mentioned in the video. Spacewell is a platform provider we partnered up with, and we looked at a lot of industry providers, I suppose, on the selection of the platform.
What this platform does for us, it has a workplace management app. So all of our staff that come to the office, before they come to the office, they have their CISC, log in and working with the IT team. We have SSO integration so that when they get their email address, they automatically download the app and they will get access into the application for workplace app. What this means is they can book desks before they come to the office, so it creates that hybrid working environment. And that was really important for us because essentially we were downsizing our office. We were going from a larger office with multiple, individual offices and large departments to a smaller departments for each individual department and less individual offices. So to sell that to the staff moving, we had to have an application that would meet the needs of the business. So it was really important to select the right product. So both the workplace app and the desk and headcount sensors all work together to get that occupancy. Workplace analytics, so essentially with that occupancy, what we have is a dashboard at the back end of it that tells us how the building is being used. So from our desk usage to our headcount sensors and all the open spaces, and then the building management system. So this is where Sensory FM would have come in. We had Tritium is the building management system. So Tritium and Spacewell had already existing APIs that allowed the sharing of that information between the two different platforms. So again, this is a journey that both ourselves, Spacewell and Sensory, were all working through, and with Charlie, the IT team allowed us to make those APIs and those connections between the different systems. Our energy usage throughout the building of how the equipment that we were putting in, what sort of data would that send back to the building management system, so we could see that in Spacewell. And then with our BIM model, I think, look at this stage, a lot of the people here is familiar with a BIM process and it's how to maximise the use of your BIM model during operations, because what we found is that in over a decade of handing over very complex BIM models to clients, you often wonder how much use do they get during the operational stage. Now what we have is a prime example of how they can be used during operations and how you can maximise the use of your building, linking it into a central platform. So then the FM side is around Sensory and how can they improve their facilities management, and then the workplace experience, so really the staff, how can they get a better working environment, better comfort levels out of the building. So what our objectives, we want to enable a smart working environment, enable sustainability roadmap. So we have a roadmap for sustainability 2030, and we have objectives where to lower the operational carbon out on our projects, but then also the operational carbon in our assets, the buildings that we have. So to maximise the productivity levy of all spaces. So really, and we can actually, even only from moving into the office in June, we can see how the building is being used. How the meeting rooms are being used, what desks are getting the most use, and if there's going to be upgrades to the building, we can go back to this data set and then make those upgrades based on the information that we have. So then supporting Sensory FM in optimising their service offering. So again, a lot of Sensory's portfolio of projects will be working with clients with large estate and for estates management. And really this is, a service offering that clients are now looking for, and how to get maximum use out of that. And then further enhance the reputation of CISP, because really what we want to do, a lot of clients aren't asking for these questions. They're not asking for a digital twin or asking for intelligent buildings that we have to hand over. They might have a 3D coordinated model during construction to reduce cost and rework. But then what is that model being used for? So now what we're hoping to do is to now showcase this as a use case for people to come and get a live demonstration of how a digital twin can be used. So our digital project delivery approach, and a lot of the team is here today. So we've digital engineering, digital technology and information management. And you can see that, right from 3D modelling right into information management, there's a lot of different use cases there. And I suppose this presentation is focused in on the smart technology. So how did we, start our digital strategy? So we implemented our DPD strategy. As I said, it was an existing building, so very limited information. We had a couple of PDFs available when we acquired the building. So we had to go in, we scanned the building, done a geospatial survey, created a BIM model, which was the foundation of the design, done our design coordination, and then we scanned it throughout construction at a handover to actually have an accurate as-built model, which was really important when you're creating a digital twin.
And again, all the asset information, how we manage the asset information right from construction into operations, and then actually linking back into our digital twin. So managing all that, the data flow throughout the build as well. So the Workplace app, as I said, it's an established app, probably would be the I suppose one of the first companies to actually integrate the BIM model with the Workplace application. So it's like booking, I suppose, a flight or any sort of mobile app that you'd be familiar with. You log into your app, you have a drop down, you pick your room, your workplace, and then if colleagues that don't have permanent desks, you can see if they're in the office, if they've meeting rooms booked, if you want them to work in a similar area or have a meeting room with them. And again, as I said, it's very simple, straightforward, and this is the user face of all the staff. So the majority of the staff wouldn't see the back end and wouldn't understand about the digital twin. They're seeing the front end of a Workplace app, a mobile app. But by getting the engagement of the business, by using the Workplace app, we now have a data set that can actually improve the performance of the building. So how does that work? You can see this is the dashboard of the analytics within Spacewell. So different areas throughout the buildings. And what we done when we were designing City West is that we wanted to create different departments, because it was, I suppose, an open plan building when we acquired it. So what we've done is created neighbourhoods, and each of those neighbourhoods essentially are a data set that we can then have an area that I can then go into, either the DPD area or the Ireland East area of the building, and see how it's being used and what's the utilisation of it. But this is all now readily available because we've done all the hard work during the design and construction stage. We now have this available to us for maximising the use of the building. So that's, I suppose, on the analytics on the occupancy. But then the bit that, I suppose, the next part was actually linking in the building management system. So you can see stage one is when we have our Tritium and Spacewell, and with the BMS, there's over 1,000 points within the building, from electrical to heat, air quality, your PV panels, water, and then the occupancy, as I said, you will have your desk and your head count sensors. So linking all those points together, you get your analytics, and then from D-Twin is the visualization. So the model that we have, that's within the D-Twin platform. So Nemetschek Group own the, I suppose, Spacewell and D-Twin, and D-Twin and Spacewell, those links were existing. The bit with the AI, and this is, I suppose, phase two, and this is where we can go, and I suppose the purpose of this presentation was the journey to an AI-enabled smart building. So we've worked very closely with our, I suppose, data protection team and developing a DPIA around how the data is going to be used, how it's going to be managed, what's the policy around it, and who would, I suppose, have access to that information. So now that we have those data sets in place, we can now create an AI-enabled smart building, where we have both Tritium, our building management system, and there is an energy module within Spacewell that allows us to get better comfort levels, better optimization of the building by that data set that we've created with our building management system with our occupancy. So an example of that, a meeting room. This is a typical meeting room that you have your head count sensor. You see it's a small head count sensor. Then you have your air quality sensor, and you have your thermostat. So at the minute when you go in, if 10 people go into that room, the temperature starts rising, someone has to go over and turn up the thermostat, or turn up the air conditioning to get the temperature down. By having an AI-enabled room, this would happen automatically. So as people go into the room gets more populated, the heat goes up, automatically your building management system would kick in, and it would increase the air quality and the airflow. So it's just one example of how we can use, I suppose, AI to enable your smart building and get optimization. But in order to do that, you have to have your occupancy sensors, you have to have your desk sensors, you have to have your air quality sensors, and you have to have this all linked back to a central location and to create that data set. But as we mentioned, it's really important that we have the correct controls and policies in place with, we've a DPIA around data protection of how this is being used and how it's being managed, and working with Sensory to actually make those decisions as to how to get the maximum performance of the building. So I suppose that's just a quick overview example of City West and how we're actually implementing our journey towards implementation.
But from City West in particular, what we've done during the construction, it was a D2 rated building. We've upgraded to an A3 with the use of the solar panels. It's LEED Gold certification. We've reduced the embodied carbon by 17.4%, so through LCAs and reuse of materials on site. We've enabled a smart building and created a modern working environment. So that's the quick overview of the presentation. Thanks very much.